Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the very first episode of My Gaming History. With me, your host, Baltic the Bastard. Now, this is a little series basically to give me a chance to talk about my extensive gaming history and relive some of those fond memories I had from all those years ago. So I'm going to take you from when I was a young whippersnapper right up to the old crabbit bastard that I am today. And I thought, what better way to start than with my very first console, and that was the Atari 2600, a wooden one to be precise. But the Atari 2600 was an absolute iconic console in the gaming industry, a runaway success and a runaway train wreck by the end, but we'll get into that later. So I thought a good way to start this off would be to take you back to the 80s and show you the kind of adverts that were running at the time. Adverts, for my American friends, that's commercials, okay? So let's get into it.
Well, this is what you've been asking me for over the last few months. The Atari video game and Space Invaders.
Thanks, Dad.
Let's see how long that keeps you amused.
Discover the new Atari video computer system. 45 cartridges containing over 700 challenging, absorbing and educational games.
Dad, I'm beginning to get a bit bored with this.
Typical. You never stick with anything long.
There you go, so that's the kind of thing we were getting in the 80s over here. But of course, the Americans went that wee bit further.
Vanguard.
Just like the arcade, sick zone.
Let me show them the mountain zone.
Hey, check it out. Get the energy pies.
So long, Harley Rockets.
Hey, the rainbow zone is my turf. You can shoot in 4 directions.
All right.
I'll just freeze to the stripe zone. The wall. Yeah.
But fellas, who destroys the gun?
Luther destroys the gun.
Vanguard is here, only from Atari.
Oh, we just had to get Big Luther in there to help us with the boss at the end, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's marketing in the 80s for you, both sides of the Atlantic. And it was 1984, in fact, I'll never forget this, when I got given my first ever console. It was a hand-me-down from my cousins at the time, and I was absolutely amazed by this thing. Big, huge wooden fucking veneer finished box. I got a stack of games with it and a couple of controllers. The big huge TV at the time as well, which used to be the standard back then for some reason, but they were massive things anyway. So I remember when I first put it on, I can't remember the exact first game I played. I think it was Centipede or something like that. But just the whole idea of being able to move things on the screen and control what was happening was just amazed me, and it put me on the road to be a lifelong fan. Now, let's not get carried away here. The graphics, if you look at them nowadays, are absolutely terrible. I mean, often your character would just be like a square, 1 pixel, and he'd be moving about the place and stuff. But to give you an idea, this machine had 128 bytes of RAM, not megabits, bytes. So at the time though, we never had anything like this. The only place you could go was into like pubs or arcades or the other arcades about to get a game or something, like Pac-Man or whatever was about at the time. But I mean, I get given a huge stack of games with this thing. Asteroids is one of them, and obviously the graphics weren't as good as the arcade counterparts, but the whole thing of playing this in your home, and most of these games were all like, there was a lot of 2-player functionality in these games, so it was good to get your mates round, whatever, and get a wee game of things. One of my favourite games that I played on it was called Outlaw. You were basically 2 cowboys, side to side. You usually had a thing in the middle, say like a carriage or a wall, a couple of cactus, and you just shoot at each other from each side. Just one bullet each side. It was an amazing game. The hours I put into that, playing my friends and family, my cousins and that, when they would come round, it was just phenomenal. But that wasn't all. We had things like Space Invaders. We had Pac-Man, obviously. Classic games, I don't need to say much about them. But we also had daft games like the Smurfs. I'll always remember the Smurfs, man. It was like 1 screen at a time, as a lot of the games were back then. And it was hard as shit, so it was. Another game I had was Barnstorming. You were just a plane flying through fucking barns, basically. And as I say, the graphics were shocking. If you look back nowadays, I know retro gaming's a big thing, but I can't play half these games nowadays. I mean, Pac-Man maybe but there's better versions out there, so that's what you'd be going with. But even things like Missile Command and that were brilliant on the console. And it was even, believe it or not, it was even the first time I played Mario. Yep, Mario was out on the Atari 2600. If you don't believe me, check this out.
Something's coming up the plumbing, poor Luigi's in a bind. Giant turtles out to get him, creepy crabs are right behind. Spider flies, cheaper shites, they're all coming out the pipes.
Mario, where are you? It's Atari Mario Brothers with Mario from Donkey Kong, his brother Luigi, and lots of crazy creatures. And it's twice the fun when two play at once, because you need all the help you can get. Mario, where are you? Mario Brothers, new from Atari.
So there you go. Who would have knew Mario on the Atari 2600? It was actually a really addictive game. It was later released as part of, I think it was Mario 3 bonus game. You used to be able to play the full version with updated graphics, and I had a riot with that as well at the time. A brilliant game. Which brings me to my favourite game on the Atari 2600, and many people will say it is the best game on it, and that is Pitfall. Very basic, as I say again. You'd go from screen to screen, jumping over ponds, dodging crocodiles and various other things like scorpions and that. But back in the day, it was such an adventure. It really was, going through the different levels of that. And it was one of the harder. I always remember myself, getting these games wasn't exactly easy. You know, you're a child, you can only get so many or whatever. And when your mom looks at you and goes, oh, you've got a stack, why do you need a new one? Oh, but I need Pitfall. But I eventually got my hands on it, and yeah, what a game. What else can I say about the Atari? One thing that I used to love about it was the box art. They always made these games look fantastic. The cover work, the artwork on the covers were amazing. And I always remember when we went up the town, I'd make a beeline for any game section, any game shop, and that'd be me. I'd just sit there and look at all the boxes and I'd be amazed. Oh, look at this. And then you'd eventually get money and buy one, take it home, pop it in the console, and you get treated to utter shit on screen. I mean, but you had to let your imagination do the talking, and that was the way it was back then for a long time. And as I say, Atari were basically making money hand over fist. They had the world in the palm of their hands, and as I say, it was like a license for them to print money, until they started flooding the marketplace with hundreds of shovelware, just shit game after shit game, and it all came fucking tits up for them when they rushed to release E.T. for the holiday season to coincide with the film. And it's a long known thing, you know, licensed games usually being shit for consoles, at least, and like just pushed out the door to go inside with the movie. But this was really bad. That, along with an inferior version of Pac-Man that they heavily invested into that year, basically sealed the fate of them. Atari fucked after that. Never came back to anywhere near the size they were. And it took a long time before Nintendo actually came out and resurrected the video games industry in both America and Europe. Of course, we had a lot of computers over here, like the Spectrum and stuff, but that wasn't too much later. But that was that. So Atari, they were good. They came along, ran shit for a while, and almost fucked it for everybody. But I do have fond memories of the console, and I even upgraded to the plastic version with the Go Fast stripes eventually. That was a nice wee machine. For the time, the games were great as well, but now I wouldn't really bother going back playing them. There's a lot better versions available, and when it comes to retro gaming, I tend to only go back as far as the 8-bit games for the NES and the Master System. I feel they hold up much better overall. But do you have any other fond memories of the Atari 2600? Are you old enough to remember any of the games for it that I've not mentioned? As I say, things like Moon Patrol, I used to love that. But that'll do it for this episode of My Gaming History. Hope you liked it. I've been Baltic for the Drunken Celts, signing off. Catch you.